Whispering Beads. Eben Cosmo lived in a small seaside town where the seagulls called louder than any math teacher. Every morning, the sun slanted into his room, painting soft shapes across his floor. Squares, circles, and triangles only he seemed to notice. Eben loved numbers, especially the quiet ones that hid in shadows and patterns. But when numbers showed up in his classroom, they got tangled in noise. The rattling bell, the fast-talking teacher, and the buzz of kids made his thoughts scatter like frightened birds. One day, Eben pressed his hands over his ears as the bell clanged again. He wondered, is there a way to learn big math without all this noise? After school, Eben wandered down to Cookjaw Lane, where a little antique shop leaned like it was listening to the ocean. The bell on the door chimed softly, not like the school bell at all. Inside sat Mags Wren, an ex-teacher with silver hair and a crooked pocket watch that ticked like a polite whisper. She looked up and smiled. "You've got numbers in your eyes," she said. "I can tell." Eben's face warmed. He hadn't known anyone else could see that. Mag showed him a worn brass abacus. Its beads were smooth as sea glass, and when Eben picked it up, they clacked softly, like they had something to say. The abacus whispered problems to Eben, but in a gentle voice, like waves counting themselves on the shore. 3 beads here, and 5 more make 8. Eben took the abacus home, its secrets rattling softly in his backpack. He felt lighter than he had in months. That night, he sat by the window listening to the soft hush of turning pages and the beads' secret math songs. He dreamed of patterns, spirals, stars, and seashells, all speaking in gentle numbers. The next morning, Eben tried to follow along in math class. He wanted to understand the teacher's talk about division, but the words rushed past like a train. The teacher's chalk scratched the board too quickly, and the bell rattled through his skull. His hands shook. He wished he were back with his quiet beads. That afternoon, Eben fled to Mag's shop again. "The classroom, it's too loud," he said, eyes wide. Mags nodded and handed her her crooked pocket watch. Sometimes time moves too fast, but here's the trick. You don't have to follow the noise. You can follow your own rhythm. Eben stared at the watch and the slow, uneven tick. He smiled. Over the next weeks, Eben visited Mags every day. They sat by the window with the ocean breeze in their hair, counting seashell spirals and measuring shadow angles. They used the abacus, the ticking watch, and even the town's tide chart to find numbers in everything. Slowly, Eben began to see a pattern, not just in the math, but in himself. He didn't need to shout to learn. He could listen. And maybe, he thought, others might listen too. One crisp afternoon, he brought his abacus to school. When the class got stuck on a hard problem, Eben gently slid the beads. Clack, clack, clack. The class stared. The teacher slowed, and suddenly the answer wasn't loud at all. It was clear. The school didn't get quieter, but Eben did. He talked softly, but learned deeply. He found ways to take breaks, to breathe, and to use tools like his abacus to understand the world at his own pace. And sometimes, when he was brave, he even shared what he knew. Eben found a way to learn big math without drowning in noise, and classmates found a way to meet him in the middle, a quieter corner of chalk and understanding. In the end, he wasn't just solving math, he was solving the puzzle of belonging, gently, bead by bead. The world, he realized, had room for all kinds of thinkers.